What's going on, everybody? It's Chris here. New crypto and NFT videos every single Monday and Wednesday. I do live streams once a week and I put videos out in between. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button down below. In today's video, I'm going to go over something extremely exciting, and that's how VEVE is incentivizing people to hold for long term. I'm not going to lie, I have been excited about this company since I first discovered it back in February, but they still continue to amaze me every single day. They're so ahead of the game in a variety of areas that I just didn't realize it. And even when I got into the rest of the NFT space with like OpenSea, Immutable, Foundation, and all of that, I still didn't truly understand that VEVE was ahead of the game on a lot of that as well. A lot of these projects on OpenSea generate you passive income, and that's the reason it costs 6 figures to buy in. Take Kongs, for example. You generate bananas every single day, and there was a point to where bananas were almost worth $100. And if you generated 10 a day, that's almost $1,000 a day. So a lot of these projects give you incentives to hold like that. What stops VEVE from being any different? We've already seen so many different examples of why VEVE wants to continue to reward holders. And when first buying into the company, I never really thought about these things, but it's the reason that I think we haven't seen major price fluctuations and why I think prices can still continue to go up for years to come. So here's some questions for you. What if we are so early in January of 2022? What if we can continue to make passive income this year and years to come? What if some of these collectibles come with real world utility? These are things that we need to think about if we decide whether to do a quick flip or hold. Quick thing I'd like to plug before diving into this video is that I have been a coffee roaster for nearly 5 years now. I decided that I wanted to take my business online more. So what I did was I'm actually incorporating my coffee roasting with a Patreon page. Now, my Patreon page isn't private information or anything like that. It's simply I roast you coffee and send it to you monthly or once every 3 months or whatever type of layer that you wanted to sign up for. It does come with Discord roles and all that fun stuff, but the main thing is I wanted to start a coffee subscription for those that like coffee and that are in the crypto and NFT community, and I roast really good coffee. So I just wanted to plug that, no pressure at all. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So my main point of reference for this video is actually going to be a post by Dan Scobble. If you don't know who he is, you definitely need to look him up on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. He has so many accomplishments, I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but overall, he's been a major asset to the community. He was the original founder of the HT3 Club, which is a private club if you own a Superman, Batman, or Secret Spider-Man, which is basically just like a private Discord. He has done interviews with Todd McFarlane. He has interviewed Gary Vee and mentioned VEVE in the interview. So he is definitely an asset, and I'm really appreciative that he chooses to be in the community. I definitely don't think he's here to leech. I definitely think he's here to stay. Awesome person. So he brings up some amazing points here that I'm going to talk about and break down for all of you that are watching, especially those of you who are new to the space. So let's just go right into them. So Dan talks about VEVE game dynamics that will incentivize users to hold their collectibles instead of selling them. The first one out of the 8 that we're going to look at says that they keep going up in value and it's still early. By this he means pre-exchanges, pre-translations, and pre-ETH. So basically what he's saying here is the only point you can buy VEVE collectibles is over the VEVE app right now. If you're familiar with the space, you'll know that a lot of VEVE collectibles, and hopefully eventually all of them, will be interoperable. What this means is that you'll be able to take them off the VEVE platform and put them on places like Immutable X and maybe even in the future OpenSea. We'll also see a lot of OpenSea volume flowing into Immutable X pretty soon. Gary Vee's been really plugged into Immutable X, so I think the volume in Immutable X is there, and I'm excited for the actual explosion of Immutable X, which VEVE is going to be partnering with. Pre-translations is pretty awesome. One of my friends, Mark, mentioned this in one of his last videos. Basically, when you're on the VEVE app, the only option you have is English, so that kind of limits the field, obviously. So once we have, Japanese and Spanish and all the other languages, it will open the app up to more users because they'll be able to read and understand more instead of just one set language. So it could open up a lot of major markets. For instance, Ultraman is huge in the Japanese space, so maybe once the app is in Japanese, there'll be more users more willing to onboard once it's in their language. His second point is that we'll be able to rent your collectibles for gems or OMI. I can make an entire different video on renting incentives. I've done hours and hours worth of talks and interviews, even live interviews on renting incentives. I think a lot of them are very possible, and we could break that down at a later date. I know if you're seeing this for the first time, you're probably thinking who's going to pay to rent your collectibles. Well, there's a lot more to that, and I'm not going to unpack all of it right here. But basically, you'll be able to rent your valuable collectibles out to people who want to rent them. Maybe they want to do it in their spaces, maybe they want to rent the utility from it, or whatever it is. And this will help you generate passive income if you're willing to let go of your collectibles for a couple weeks, a couple months, however long the renting contracts are. Dan's third point is that we'll earn Master Collector points that will give you leverage to get drops, and then you can rent these collectibles. So I've broken down the Master Collector program in several different videos, and although some people do not see the value in Master Collector program, it kind of goes along with some of his other points that he makes later. But I do think Master Collector program is going to come into play because there's so many incentives there. I mean, for people like me, I'm holding on to a bunch of stuff that I really don't care about because I want those Master Collector points, because I really think they'll give us an advantage on the app, and they'll just be a flex at the end of the day. The biggest thing about the MCP points that he points out at the end of the sentence is that they'll give us leverage to get drops, and then you can rent those collectibles. So basically, if you accumulate enough MCP points, you're able to kind of bet that for sure you'll be able to get a drop. It's like a lottery system, which again I've covered in other videos. So let's say Darth Vader drops in a couple weeks, and I have my Master Collector points stacked up. Of course, they're not out yet, but we're just using a hypothetical. I could be able to guarantee that I'm able to purchase a Darth Vader. Then with that guarantee, I can go ahead and buy it, and then later rent that Darth Vader out, or hold on to it, or sell it, or whatever I want to do. So these MCP points definitely come into play. Not only that, there's accessories that you can get using MCP points, and a ton of other stuff that we could talk about in other videos. But I do think MCP is a pretty good advantage, and it's a way that VEVE absolutely gamifies their app. Number 4 is that we will gain utility in the VEVE, such as using collectibles to play games or gain access to locations or events. This is so true, and I think this is definitely an underrated comment right here, because we really don't know what collectibles are going to do what. I know a lot of people have speculated the Marvel Mighties. They just kind of like look like characters that would be on a game. As someone who doesn't really own many of the Marvel Mighties, I don't really know what to say about it, but it does tempt me to buy more of them, because like, what if they are a game? If the Marvel Mighties are a game, then absolutely I think that will affect the prices, because you'll need them to play. And this could happen with any collectible. I'm not just saying with Marvel Mighties, but at any given point, VEVE could say, okay, if you have these said collectibles, you're able to participate in this game. And what do you think is going to happen to the value of those collectibles that you sold for 20, 40, 50 gems a pop? I mean, they could 10x at that point. Dan's 5th point is that you may gain utility in real life, such as access to a Discord, a conference, or a Disney theme park. Again, we already see this unfolding today. Dan is the one that started the HT3 Club, which is a real life example of the utility that comes with some of these collectibles. I'm in the HT3 Club because I own a TOD, and I'm able to speak with other people who are also in that club. There's nothing there to stop these bigger players that will hold conferences specifically for certain collectibles. I know Andre Jick mentioned maybe if you have a secret rare Spider-Man, then you're able to meet up at his house. I don't remember exactly what he said about it, but that stuff can happen, especially when we have more corporations buying into these collectibles. So I definitely think the conference option is there. And then lastly, we see Disney theme park. This is a really cool one to speculate on. So the Disney theme parks is a really fun one to speculate on. So I don't think that these NFTs will necessarily give you free access to the parks, unless maybe Walt and Mickey could definitely be there. But there's nothing stopping Disney from saying that you get a discount on your tickets, that you get VIP access while you're at the park. Maybe you get a geocached airdrop while you're at the park. Maybe you get a discount on hotels. Whatever it is, that accessibility is there for them. We've already seen that Disney understands utility with NFTs, because when Disney NFTs were released their first week, they actually came with a Disney Plus membership for 3 months or 6 months. So there's definitely nothing stopping Disney from giving that utility to longer holders. Also, the exciting part about this is, I know a lot of you watching are like, why would Disney do that? Wouldn't they be missing out on that money? You got to remember that this is the blockchain. This is the technology that there is fees factored into it. So there's an 8.5% Disney fee, which I think 6.5% of it actually goes to Disney. So every time a collectible is bought and sold, a percentage of it goes back to Disney. So they would want to incentivize more market activity, more secondary market activity, so that they can constantly make passive income. They also probably want higher ticket sales, because if these Walts are selling at 10,000 or 12,000 or whatever they're going to sell at, Disney is getting 6.5% of every one of those. So it's beneficial for Disney as a business to incentivize holders. So there's definitely nothing stopping Disney from incentivizing these. Again, this is the point of the video where I definitely want to say everything I'm saying is speculation. It's just an exciting point to be able to look at the future and see that this is possibilities. Dan's point number 6 is that you may get early access to acquire land in the Weverse that you can rent out. Again, speculation. We don't really know too much about that, and I'm not going to speculate on it too much. So we'll go on to number 7. You earn badges on your profile if you hold certain collectibles or sets by a series. So this one is awesome. Basically, if you own sets or, like you said, certain collectibles, you'll get badges. This could be a game of its own. How many Batman badges do you want? How many Marvel badges do you want? Et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a fun speculation, and Randy Dandy did a live video on this, but like if Pokemon does come to VeVe, how cool would it be to earn your gym badges? You know, maybe they drop a certain amount of fire Pokemon, and if you buy all those fire Pokemon, you get a fire badge, or the rock Pokemon, you get the rock badge. I don't remember the gym leaders' actual badge names, but you get my point. How cool would it be to get the 8 badges to where you get some kind of special utility tied in with Pokemon or whatever? Now again, Pokemon speculation, but you can insert that with anything on here. It's really cool because it extra gamifies it to be able to earn these badges. And then lastly, this is really cool and very slept on as well. By holding a set or series of a collectible, you can get free collectibles via airdrops. We just saw this done with the serial killers. A lot of people that are holding on to the entire serial killers seasons, they're able to get a free golden bunny airdrop. There's absolutely nothing stopping this from happening with other collectibles. I know a lot of people have their eyes on season 1 right now, and it'd be amazing if they release something special for a season 1 holder, but they can absolutely release these for any type of sets that you have. This is another reason why it's hard for me to let go of my sets, because you just never know. Number 8 is probably the main utility in the rest of the NFT space. So there's these projects considered launch pads. Basically, if you're holding one of those NFTs, you're able to get a launch of another NFT project. So let's take Immutable X, for instance. Astro Bros served as a launch pad for other projects. So essentially, if you're holding an Astro Bro, you'd either be able to get early access to mint or get a free airdrop on that other project. This happens all the time on other platforms, and VeVe is definitely ahead of the game on it. I know I got airdropped the Ultraman 2D. It wasn't based on the set, it was based on a mistake back in March. And I mean, they're still doing airdrops. Like I said, they just did the serial killers one. Any set could have an airdrop, so it's pretty exciting to know that you're holding a set and you could get a free collectible off of that. You could also consider this passive income, because from that airdrop that you get, you can either decide to sell later or you can decide to rent it out to somebody else. It's just pretty cool because you really never know. Also, we see things, I think I would add a number 9, but this kind of goes on with the airdrops. Some of these VeVe NFTs will also have utility off the app. So look at Immutable X and the Frank Kozik Labbits. He actually announced that you should be able to breed these Labbits in 2022. So basically, if you have 2 Labbits, you're able to breed them and possibly get a baby Labbit, which again is another free NFT that you can then sell or hold or do whatever you want with. So I think Dan did a great job at breaking all of these down on why VeVe is probably one of the best, if not the best, at incentivizing holding for long-term value. That's all I have for you guys in today's video. If I missed anything, definitely drop it down below in the comments. I'm so excited to see what 2022 holds for us. I mean, VeVe absolutely blew my expectations out the water for 2021. And you know I've been an early believer since February, so that's saying a lot. And I had a lot of faith in the company. I definitely think they're ahead of the game, and I just cannot wait. So I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.